If you're watching this video, it means I've been defected. Now it's been exactly 1 week since I got pulled over and defected on the side of the road. I live in Melbourne, Australia, and a defect means different things in different states around Australia. So in Victoria, we have 2 different types of defects. You have a minor defect and you have a major defect. Now can you guess which one I got? It's pretty obvious, my car is in the air, which means I got major defected. Now, a minor defect, it's usually a pretty small issue, whether it's you have bald tires, maybe you have a brake light out, maybe a cracked headlight, ride height, stretch wheels, that sort of thing. But a major defect comes with police discretion, and what that means is they decide how much they want to f you, essentially. So with this car, probably easier to tell you guys what they didn't defect me for than what actually they defected me for, because the list of defects is longer than it isn't in terms of the modifications I have on this car. Now, before I tell you guys what I actually got defected for, it's probably good to get an understanding of what a defect notice is. According to VicRoads' website, a defect notice is issued to a vehicle that does not meet roadworthiness requirements and registration standards. Defect notices are issued by authorities including Victoria Police, National Heavy Vehicle Regulator, Vehicle Safety Partners and Standards, Safe Transport Victoria, and equivalent interstate inspectors. So, they break the news to me. They go, look mate, they hand me a piece of paper. They got 5 defects written down. So, we've got aftermarket turbocharger, non-compliant. Engine emissions, non-compliant, aka catch can, it vented to atmosphere. Suspension ride height, non-compliant. Window tint, too dark, non-compliant. Exhaust muffler, non-compliant. Non-compliant. So anyway, 5 defects. They basically said, look, you have 7 days to drive your car as you please, and you have 30 days till your registration gets suspended, and then after like 3 months, your registration gets cancelled. They slap a yellow sticker on my car that says defective vehicle, and they send me on my way. And that's where we are right now. So basically, it was a beautiful Saturday morning. I was on my way to Rex H's house. You guys might know him. He's a pretty big YouTuber and a very, very close friend of mine. We were actually dropping his Skyline off to get painted. I thought that it would be a great idea to take this car, cruise up with him to drop his R32 Skyline off, because obviously they're both 90s Japanese sports cars, and I figured it'd be pretty cool. It was just like any other day. I didn't hear anything about any blitzes going on. There's not really much cop presence around my area. I just figured, you know, may as well take the car out like I normally would, you know, how I have done for 4.5 years. I decided to take a different route to how I normally take to go to my mate's house. There are 2 main roads that go to his house. I needed to fill up ethanol, so I decided to take that road. I went and filled up my car. I was driving down this main road and I saw one hire patrol car. So I saw one hire patrol driving past. I'm like, okay, no big issue. The car basically looks stock. It's got a fresh paint job. It's got stock wheels. It's not that low. Kept driving. Then I see another cop. I'm like, okay, this is a bit strange because I normally don't see cops on this road. Then I'm about to turn left onto another main road, which then leads to my mate's house. There's a cop that's pulled over another car. And I'm like, okay, now this is a bit sus. I'm getting a bit scared now because this main road that I'm about to turn on does have a little bit of highway patrol presence because it's a huge intersection. I turn onto this road and bang, there's a police bus set up on the side of the road. There's a slip road and they're set up in the slip road, conveniently outside Sexyland, which I thought was pretty funny. So they pull me in, I gave them my license. He starts looking around the car and he goes, calls over his buddy and he's like, hey mate, check this car out. It's a bit low, don't you think? And I'm like, holy what have I gotten myself into? Like, that's it. Yee. I'm a sitting duck. You know, I'm a partisan during World War II trying to escape the Germans. That was a poor reference, but anyway. And all of a sudden, my car gets swarmed with all of these officials from the Victorian Department of Transportation. The gentleman comes up to me and he goes, mate, can you please pull over to the side? We want to check over your car. I start my car up again and they all snap their necks because it's pretty loud and it stinks of ethanol. And I'm like, okay, I'm about to get run through. The guy goes, can you pop your bonnet? So I pop my bonnet. And they're presented with an SR20 and a big single turbo right up in their face, at the top, not at the bottom, in a place where it shouldn't be, and an external wastegate. And I'm like, okay, I'm done. So I hop out of the car and that's where I filmed this clip. So I'm standing there, cop comes up to me and he goes, mate, my name is Senior Constable, whatever the I'm with the Victorian Department of Transportation. We've set up a blitz today, and I'm like, okay, so what's happening here? Am I getting defected? Am I like, what's going on? Am I getting EPA'd? And he goes, look, mate, you know what? Most likely you're gonna get a major defect. And I was beside myself. I should have started filming, but I was very upset, as you guys could probably imagine. Another guy comes up to me and he goes, look, we're actually a bunch of qualified mechanics, and we're gonna check over your car now to see if it's compliant. Fair enough. They grab their flashlights, they're looking at my engine bay, they're looking at the turbo, they start crawling underneath the car, they start looking at it, they walk out to the back and they see that I've got a Varex muffler, a valved exhaust. These guys are absolutely running through me right now. About 20 minutes go by, another Victorian Department of Transportation guy comes up to me and he goes, are they admiring your work, are they? Get the out of my face, bro. Another 10 minutes go by. Rex is blowing up my phone. Bro, what happened? Where are you? I'm sending videos to the group chat. Everyone's trying to call me flat out. They break the news to me. They hand me a piece of paper. They got 5 defects written down. This defect wasn't going to clear itself. There was no point moaning and complaining about it. So as the famous saying goes, you made your bed, so lie in it. And that's what I did. All right, been hard at work. Off camera because there is a lot of raging which is not AdSense compatible on YouTube. So stock hot side that was on the car is now off. I managed to, thank God, transfer the AN fittings onto the stock turbo. Don't worry about that, I snapped a couple of bolts. Hopefully it won't have any issues getting oil and coolant in and out of the stock turbo. So, as you can see, the Silvia is still up on stands because it is almost impossible to find stock parts for this thing. I've actually never owned this car with a stock turbo or stock exhaust or anything. I bought it with that high mount setup, so trying to find stock parts is pretty difficult, but my roadie is this Friday. Massive shout out to my mate Jay. He managed to fit me in. Everyone's booked out, but he's looking after me. Thank you so much to you. The moral of the story is, with these sorts of cars, you gotta pay to play. I'd be pretty naive and ignorant to think that it was never gonna happen. I just didn't think it was gonna happen whilst the car was looking this stock, as you can see, but it is what it is, you know, shit happens. I had a good run, 4.5 years. I had big plans to bring that EF back this week, but obviously Vic Pol had different plans to me, but I have bought parts to revive the EF on the channel. So many people have been taking the piss out of me and asking me, messaging me on Instagram, Nath, when is the EF coming back? Well, I've got some parts. I'm pulling my finger out of my ass and getting that car on the road because I'm keen. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. If you've been defected before, leave a comment down below and I'll see you in the next one. Take it easy.